Okay, so I was thinking, you know, ooh, I should probably take this. I was thinking, what I've been doing photography for a little bit now. Not like, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I'm not like a beginner, like a schmuck, you know. So I was thinking, it's like, what are some things that like I did that were like wrong, or like things that I've learned that like I wish I knew. Like, how do I put this? I used to suck, but now I don't. So I'll talk about what I did to go from sucking at photography to being like decent at it. So yeah, let's just, number one, we're changing locations. There was lots of people all of a sudden, and I panicked. So for this first one, I need the camera itself because it has to do with it, like more than the other ones, I guess. Shoot that. But long story short, it's gonna be, they call it the histogram, which is pretty much, let me put this, okay, here, I'll show you guys. So, focus, work with me here. Okay, so this right here, that's the histogram. And it pretty much, all it talks about is the exposure. So if you're all the way over to the right like that, it means the photo is overexposed and you need to calm down. If it's the other way like that, it means your photo is too dark and that you need to fix it. So the best is right in the middle. So you can either go from like, I would say, when it starts to like go up and spike like that onto the sides, it's a bit much. So you kind of want to have it, whoop, wrong way. You kind of want it spread out and as even as possible. So from this setting, being outside in like at noon, that's probably the best it's going to go. So yeah, you want this to be level so it's not like overexposed or underexposed, because when you're looking at it on like the screen, you're like, it looks good, and then you actually look at it and you're like, it was too bright or it was too dark. So always trust that, because that is always correct. The second thing is also on the camera, so let me pull that thing back out again and we'll just, instead of the histogram though, what we're doing is these little lines right here. The grid, like I always leave my grid on, because when I'm shooting, I always like to, like when I'm doing like portraits, I always shoot this way, and I always put my subject either in this corner right up here where like these cross, or these right over here. And I always keep them like on these lines. That way it just better sets up the photo so that it just looks, focus, it just looks like cleaner and sharper and just more normal. Because sometimes it kind of looks weird when you have them like right down the center, or like just like kind of sort of off to one side just barely, and it just kind of, it just doesn't look quite as good. But if you like use like the lines and the thirds, then it just makes the photos like a little bit cleaner, and you're just like, okay, that respect to him. So that's the second thing, because I used to like shoot, I would just go like click 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 and just hope something good came out of it, and I didn't get a lot of good photos. I would take like hundreds and get like 5 for every 100, and I don't know exactly, but yeah, it was a struggle until I started using this. So you should turn it on your camera and start to use it. I think we are on number 3 now, or 4. 3, yeah, 3. Yeah. Anyway, number 3 is you want to have clean photos. Like if you're like shooting like products or like little stuff, or just people, or just anything, like whatever you're shooting, make sure the photo is clean. Because if it's not clean, there's like little like let's say, I know you're shooting somebody working on their desk, and there's like a plastic water bottle just like sitting on like the side, or like you get like a little bit of the garbage can or something, and it's just kind of, the photo would have been good had that not been in there. So before you take the photos, always check and double check and recheck, like triple check and quadruple check. Make sure like everything's just like clean, are somewhat like organized or just out of the frame, so that when you take the photo, you're like click click, and it's like, ooh, perfect, no worries, because it's all lined up, the lighting's perfect, there's no garbage, it's just mwah. And last but not least, I think this is number 4. I hope it's number 4. If I counted correctly, it should be. Yes, that's how you numbers, yes. Anyway, number 4. What you want to do is, this goes along, or not goes along with, but the thirds, you know how like I showed you like taking pictures and like lining people up with like the lines and all that stuff, similar to that, but instead of like putting the person there, what you want to do is, this is for like landscapes and stuff like that. You want to make sure, or this is for any photo really, but what you want to do is you want to make sure the lines are like straight. So you look at your camera and you're like, okay, the horizon is right there, so let's line up this line on my camera with the horizon, boop, so that the photo comes out straight, not crooked, because when it's crooked, then you kind of have a problem, and it's fixable. You just go into Lightroom or Photoshop and you just go and fix it. But it's just, if you just take care of it during the shoot, then you don't need to worry about editing and tweaking it later. Alright guys, so that's it. That's the main stuff that I wish I knew when I first started doing photography, because like I didn't really care about like the little graph and the lines and all that. It was just confusing, and I'm like, why even bother? But now that I actually like have looked into it and like done stuff with it, I'm like, yeah, I probably should have cared sooner. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap things up. So like, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff, because y'all are cool people, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.